Hello students, good morning. In today's class, I am going to discuss with you chapter 13, that is organism and population. Already we have completed large portion of this topic. In today's class, I am going to discuss with you the next part of this topic, that is adaptations. First of all, we will discuss the definition of adaptation. Adaptation is an attribute of an organism to survive and reproduce in its habitat. So now I am going to write the definition. Adaptations are the attributes, means characters, attributes of organisms to survive and reproduce in their habitat. In their habitats means organism has to develop certain adaptations to survive in particular area where the conditions are not normal, and not only they survive, they have to produce their next generation, because their generation also has to continue in that particular habitat. And adaptations are developed during the course of evolution in time, and they are genetically fixed. Means adaptation ಒಂದೇ ದಿವಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬಂದಂತದಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ತಯಾರಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಾಣಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಹೊಂದಾಣಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಜೀವಿ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಹೊಂದಾಣಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ತಾನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲದೆ ತನ್ನ ಮುಂದಿನ ಜನರೇಷನ್ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಸಾಗಿಸಲ್ಪಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಜೀವಿಯ ಸಂತತಿ ಆ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇನ್ನು ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರು ರೀತಿಯ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. 3 types of adaptations we see. 3 types of adaptations are there. You see the 3 types of adaptation. One is morphological adaptation. Second one is physiological adaptation. And third one is behavioral adaptation. Behavioral adaptations. So these are the 3 types of adaptation. Organism may adopt all these 3, or some may adapt only morphological, or some may adapt only physiological, some may go for only behavior also. Morphological adaptations means if the organism for the survival purpose, if it has developed any morphological features or any structures or any organs that could help the organism to survive in that extreme condition, such structures are said to be morphological adaptation. For example, Opuntia, which is living in desert condition where the availability of water is very less. To survive in desert condition, Opuntia plant develops thick cuticle. It reduces the leaves and convert into the spine-like structure. Here the stem is modified into leaf-like structure. So these are some of the morphological features which help the organism to survive in extreme condition where the availability of water is very less. In the same way, mammals living in colder climatic conditions usually have shorter ears and limbs because to minimize the heat. So these are some of the morphological adaptation for the organism to survive in certain extreme condition. Physiological means the functions which takes place inside the body activities. So they could help the organism to survive in extreme cases. For example, the human being works very efficiently under 37-degree temperature. Suddenly if the temperature rises or goes below the 37 degree, he will give up his efficiency. He is not able to do his work properly. In that case, he either sweat profusely to make the body cool, or he shivers, and by the help of this shivering, this is a kind of exercise which generates the heat, and that lifts the body temperature. This is one kind of physiological activity. Even we also give one example, the kangaroo rat which is living in North American desert, where the water availability is very less. To meet its water requirements, it undergo internal fat oxidation, or the plants which are living in desert conditions, they adapt the CAM is a method, a type of plant photosynthetic pathway which enables opening of stomata during night time and closes at the daytime. So these are the physiological adaptation to the organisms to survive in extreme condition. And behavior means the activity. So organisms either undergo inactive state during extreme condition. So let us study some examples in different habitats. We'll discuss some the examples with respect to their habitats. First we'll discuss about the conditions of desert habitat. Examples in the desert habitat. Desert habitat or desert climatic condition, or you may also call the availability of availability of water is very less. Availability of water is very less in such condition. Absence of external water source. In desert habitat, there is absence of external water source. So here the organism which are surviving has to adapt certain things to survive in such a critical condition or extreme condition. For example, I am going to give you first example, a kangaroo rat. Kangaroo rat in North American desert. To meet its water requirement, it go for internal fat oxidation. In which water is a byproduct. To meet all the water requirements, it go for the internal fat oxidation, in which water is a byproduct. So it can use this water. And second adaptation we see in this kangaroo rat is it concentrate its urine. Means it use very minimum volume of water to excrete the excretory products. So it's use the very minimum quantity or volume of water to release its excretory products. So these are two, or we can say the physiological adaptations. These two are physiological adaptations we see in the kangaroo rat to survive in the desert condition. So an example for plants in deserts. Plants in desert condition, how they cope up with certain environmental habitats. So example for this is Opuntia, which is a xerophytic plant. It's a xerophytic plant. It survives in the desert condition, which shows certain morphological as well as physiological adaptations. The first adaptation is for having thick cuticle on their surface. Plant body is covered with the thick cuticle on leaf, on the stem, because leaves are modified into spine-like structures. The stem is covered with the thick cuticle. And second one is stomata are present in pits or deeper portion deeper part of plant body, or we may call this sunken stomata, means by which they can minimize the water loss by transpiration. If the stomatas are on the upper surface only, so they can allow vapors of water very easily, so water can easily wasted. To avoid this water loss by transpiration, stomata are located in the deeper portion, or we call this sunken stomata. And they have a unique type of photosynthetic pathway. Photosynthetic pathway, which we call the CAM. CAM. CAM means calcium acid metabolism. This is a unique type of photosynthetic pathway which we see in the xerophytic plants, and that enables the opening and closing of stomata. Usually normal plants stomata open during daytime and close at the night time, but in this xerophytic plants, CAM enables stomata to open in the night time and close in the daytime. So the another thing is morphological adaptation. Here leaves are modified into spine-like structure because to reduce the water loss, and stem is modified into leaf-like structure for the photosynthetic function, and that is modified stem is also for the phylloclade. And these 2 points are come under the morphological adaptation. Photosynthetic pathway is come under the physiological adaptations, and these 2 are again morphological adaptation. So the xerophytic plants, to survive in desert condition, they has to develop such adaptations. They may be morphological or physiological, or sometimes some organism may develop behavioral also. Next we will study in the colder conditions or colder habitats organisms adaptations. Organisms which are living in colder climate. Colder climate. Mammals living in colder climate usually having shorter ears and limbs to minimize the heat. Mammals living in colder climate having shorter ears and limbs to minimize heat loss. This is called the Allen's rule. This one is called the Allen's rule. This is called the Allen's rule. So you may get 2 types of questions based on this statement. State the Allen's rule. If the question is like that, you have to answer like this. Mammals are living in colder climate having this shorter ears and limbs to minimize the heat loss. This is the Allen's rule statement. Or sometimes you may get the question like give reason question. They will ask you mammals living in colder climate having shorter ears and limbs. Why? Or give reason. So in that case you have to answer this word. You have to say because to minimize the heat loss they usually have the shorter ears and limbs, because usually we can also experience that whenever the climatic conditions are very cold, the most of our body has heat escape through our ears and through the limbs. If these things are very large quantity of heat is going to loss. To minimize the heat loss, these organisms develop shorter ears and the limbs. And in the same way, another example in colder climatic condition, the aquatic mammals living in polar seas like seals. Aquatic mammals living in polar seas will having or developing a fat. They are accumulating seals polar seas, like seals, accumulating fat below their skin, which is also called the blubber. Which is also called the blubber. And this blubber help in two ways. One, it act as insulator, and second one is it reduce the body heat. It reduce the loss of body heat. Suppose body heat is reducing or escaping, so it reduces the loss of body heat. In these two ways, this fat which is deposited below the skin of seals help the organism survive in the colder climatic conditions. And some organisms possess that are physiological responses, and that help the organism to respond very quickly in stressful condition. So, what are those physiological adaptations which respond very quickly? Let us see. If you have ever had been to any high altitude regions like Rohtang Pass near Manali and Manasarovar near China occupied region, which is more than 3,500 meter height or altitude area. Here you can experience certain things. These are called the altitude sickness. Altitude sickness. What are the symptoms of altitude sickness? What are the things which you are experiencing when you visit high altitude region? Nausea, it's vomiting sensation, and fatigue, you feel very fatigue. Next one is heart palpitation. So these are the things you can experiencing whenever you visit the high altitude area. Why these things are happening there? Because in high altitude area, in the low atmospheric pressure, so the body can absorb, or it is very difficult to our body to absorb oxygen. This is the problem. But within short while, your body is going to be acclimatized or adjusting with this environment. And how it can be happen? So our body compensate, or your body become normal because of the things which is get or response which it develops. The one is increasing more number of RBCs in body, increasing number of RBCs. So body will develop it quickly. RBC cells number. So more number of RBCs are developing in the body and reducing the binding affinity of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin quickly release the oxygen to the cells. Reduce the binding affinity of hemoglobin and increasing breathing rate. So by these things, our body can acclimatize in high altitude area. So what is high altitude sickness? Its symptoms and how our body cope up with this high altitude sickness. So all these are here. Now our body can, or many organisms can work properly under optimal temperature. For example, if you take the human being the biochemical actions or physiological activities are take place with a normal temperature. The temperature is 37 degree in humans. Optimal work takes place at 37 degrees centigrade. But some microbes like Archaebacteria, which survive in very hot springs and hydrothermal events, where temperature is more than 100 degrees centigrade. Temperature is more than 100 degree temperature. And organisms under extreme situation is many fish thrive in Antarctica where temperature is below zero. Many fishes survive in Antarctica where temperature is below zero. And next example is large variety of marine invertebrates and fish live at a great depths in the ocean where the pressure could be greater than 100 than normal atmospheric pressure. So the fish and some invertebrates which live in deeper region of ocean where the atmospheric pressure is greater than 100 of that of normal atmospheric pressure. How these things are possible? Because these are the extreme situations where other organisms survival is very difficult, and this is because of their biochemical adaptation. For example, if you take the Archaebacteria, they have unique cell wall, and the enzymes present in Archaebacteria are thermostable enzymes. They can tolerate high range of temperatures. So these are the biochemical adaptations. Some organisms show behavioral adaptations. They respond to their environment by their behavior. A desert lizards, they bask the sun and absorb the temperature. When their body temperature drops below the comfort zone, and they move to the shade when the temperature starts increasing. And some organisms burrowing under the soil when the ground temperature, to escape from the ground temperature. So these are some of the behavioral adaptations. So here I am going to finish this adaptations part, and still there is a small portion has left, population interaction of this topic and growth models. We will discuss those things in our next class. Thank you.